Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the the Nine of Wands, and this card has everything to do with strength. Okay, and let's take a look at these tea leaves. Oh, immediately I see we have the head of well, I was going to say a fox, but it looks like a small wolf, maybe. You can see kind of the nose, the eye, the ear, and then kind of this pronounced face, right? The kind of hair off the side. And so I immediately see that, and it seems like a youthful energy. This is like a real sense of somebody who's quite adventurous, who gets their mind set on something and they absolutely stick to it. I wonder if this is maybe like a son, maybe a nephew, or, well, it doesn't have to be a boy really. But I do think that there is this sense of at least the totem kind of being more masculine. And I feel like with this person, when you engage with them, there is this sense of kind of wonder, because I think that you're probably more reserved. You've always been that way. You've always very, like, down to the, minute detail, thought about your next step. You're a planner. You like to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that it's not going to kind of disrupt the whole picture, right? One thing going wrong and it just is a domino effect. But this person is kind of they come and go as they kind of please. They don't abide a strict schedule so much. They are somebody who finds a way to enjoy most places that they go, and maybe at times could seem a little immature, but in a way that is almost kind of refreshing, if that makes sense. So I think that when you experience them, when you're around them, you see what their life is kind of like, it's like, I don't understand that. That's a really, but I think that it's something that is very beloved to you. I could see you being very proud of them, and you might not tell them that very often, but I think it's important to, because there is such a difference in kind of the way that you exist. I wonder if they might think, I think in the smallest way, that you don't approve, right? And maybe there are things they do you don't approve of, right? Like any of our children might do once in a while. But I do think that there would be benefit in letting them know, like, hey, I am like so impressed by you. I think the world of you. I support, your decisions for the most part, but that is a lovely energy for sure. And above it, we have the arrow, and it really feels like a high vibrating, dynamic between the two of you. And I think that it's something that it's very, there's a lot of love there. Definitely. Okay, so now we have a cow's head. It looks like a skull. Okay, you can see the eyes kind of there, and the horns up here. Now we have also a person who looks like they're maybe reaching up and handing a flower, or maybe kind of down. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. So we also have the waters here. And we have it, the person looks like they're almost flying too. And I wonder here if this is not kind of a scene of, a time of loss. I wonder if this is not maybe the first big loss of your life. And now this could be old history, right? But it is something that it is one of those huge milestones in your life when death is very present. There's no way to ignore it. It suddenly kind of creeps into your life, and everything that you kind of thought it might feel like, not death itself, but being in an environment where death is happening or has happened. Not necessarily, I mean, I don't mean necessarily in the physical space, although that as well, but in the process of losing somebody, okay? And I think it was the first big experience with death, of course. You know, whenever somebody, a grandparent or a parent or somebody, whoever it might be, when that happens, that experience of that first, closeness with it all, it changes who we are. I mean, there's no way around it. It's the great mystery of life. At least one of them. One of the main ones, right? And so when we get a little bit of a glimpse beyond the veil, it is something that cannot be undone. You don't forget. You don't forget about it. Absolutely not. But I do think, interestingly, in this activation, I feel like you came to a place of great power. I think that you are somebody who absolutely excels in stressful situations. You are somebody who is really good at navigating through kind of difficulties and very emotional waters. I think that you're probably like somebody who, in your work, you maybe work with people who are going through difficult things. You might be somebody who assists them, like a social worker, or you are maybe some kind of in the medical field, or I can't think. There's so many different things that come up. A lawyer, but whatever it is, you experience people in very vulnerable states, and people kind of trying to figure out, they don't even, maybe have no idea what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that your ability to commune with them in a way that they can understand. You're not just talking at them. You are sitting with them. You are right beside their side, right beside them. And it feels so much, like you are a guide. I feel like you have this sense of being the thing that people need, when they are struggling and when they need a friend. And this maybe is not something you do. This maybe isn't like your job, okay? But I think it could be applied there as well, just because whoever you work with, whoever you're talking with, I think that you have a presence that absolutely puts them at ease. They feel like you're on the same level, and you will discuss things that most people probably won't, don't, or they just don't, and I feel like people, when they speak to you, they find themselves saying things that maybe they wouldn't say to most people either, so that's a beautiful gift to be able to connect deeply like that. And I get this feeling that this, this period, this tower moment in your life, although awful, tragic in a lot of ways, even if it was, somebody who was elderly, who passed and you had expected it, it's still there. You can plan for a death. You can go through the whole process with somebody as they, they ail. And then when it happens in that those final, hours and then the aftermath of that, you can't prepare for it really, and so, yes, I think this in some ways was kind of an initiation. And if it is something that has happened recently and you're hearing this and you're saying like, this is ridiculous, you're making light of my suffering, or, at no point am I ever going to feel like this suffering means anything besides pain. I understand and I hear you. I don't know, I don't know what it will feel like later on for you. I do know that it hurts when it is happening. And when you're in it, when you're you're in the thick of it, but this is something that's really, it is written in here for you, of you. And so, I hope that when the time comes and you can do something with your ability here, I hope that you will. I hope that you will. So I'm seeing multiple E's in here, lowercase e's, but I do still think this maybe is a name that keeps coming up. It's coming to the front here. We also have the 3 down here. It almost, I think maybe, 43. So 43. We also have a 3 over here. Okay, so that one looks like 13. That looks like 43. Now, we also have, right, the Phoenix here. You can see. So, again, this idea of rising from these painful places that you have been. You make the most of what you have, always, in whatever circumstance. And I think that's why you continue to thrive, even when it's kind of like, I have been knocked down again, and this, the universe is not helping. Everything is kind of, hanging by a thread sometimes. But you don't stay down, you keep going, and only fortified more and more, right, as time goes on. And I don't know, I can't attest to if like we ever get to a place of like pure happiness or anything, but I do know, when we do keep getting up, not letting ourselves linger too long in that sunken place, there is a sense of kind of, it's like a muscle memory, right? Of rebound, like figuring out how to rebound from this awful thing that has happened, and I speak as somebody who's had a lot of death in my life and a lot of other things, a lot of problems, and And I do, and I think that, you know, and that never ends, you know. You can't, I wish, right? Sometimes I think about how can I just get into a position where there's just, you know, a promise of everything staying exactly the same, like just being locked in, you know. It doesn't have to be the most perfect place, but, you know, just kind of a good, there's an ease there. And I can live in that, you know, little hidden valley of paradise, you know, my own little kind of paradise. And there isn't, you know, I don't know. I don't think that's meant for the waking world. Everything's changing all the time so quickly. And so the best we can do is stay in that place of strength. And in the ability to feel how we feel, but don't let it overtake us. You know, do not succumb to the devastation. It's hard. It's hard not to. And I laugh because I think about it, you know, the times that things get so hard to figure out, how do you get out of this place, you know. And as I like to do on my readings, if you've watched them before, you know, then I think we have to have things like therapy and counseling, people to talk to. I'm always a huge advocate for therapies, you know, different kinds of talk therapies and so on, and, you know, whatever else. There are a lot of different methods, and yeah, so, you know, I think that if we have access to it, if you have the privilege to having access to it, make use of that, you know. I think I'll probably be in therapy forever. And that's, you know, I think it's because I come from that school of thought where it's an ongoing, it assists you in the ongoing, process of living and analyzing everything. You know, it's not like I go to therapy to get fixed, because, you know, I don't even know what that would mean. So anyways, we have it looks like a cobra, really, kind of bunched up in a in like a nice roll of snake, and then kind of the head up, kind of that what is it called, periscoping, I think. So we have that, and then we have over here, it looks like, I don't know. It looks like PE to me for some reason. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's initials or a name, part of a name. Maybe it's physical education. I don't know. But we have the cobra, King Cobra. And so I feel that there is a sense of, I wonder if there is I'm trying to think exactly what this is, like a good friend maybe. I almost feel like this is a good friend maybe that you grew up with, and you've always like tried to help them. They've tried to kind of get their life together a lot of different times, and they do well for a while, and then it kind of gets a little messy there. And so I feel like, I don't know, maybe as you've gotten a little older, this person has become kind of untrustworthy, or at least there's a feeling of they've lost that thing, that buffer that would like kind of keep them from, you know, maybe being kind of predatory, or a little bit like, I don't know what it, like maybe trying to like borrow money continually, maybe lying to you or misrepresenting things or whatever it is. And I feel like there's just this growing energy of mistrust, and also just kind of like, yeah, feeling like unsafe or uncomfortable with them. And I feel like this is surprising because it's been such a long relationship, and it feels like they've lost part of who they were, or it's gotten kind of like muddled in their circumstances. And so I feel like in a way this is kind of your mourning this connection that you had, and maybe starting to realize that this is maybe somebody that you can't really have in your life anymore, or at least to the degree that you once did. And I think that's pretty hard. I think that's something that feels, I mean, it sucks, right? And so, you know, I feel like what's really coming through here is that you wish things could be different. You know, but at the same time, there's self-preservation, and you know, like, this can't be trusted. I can't change anybody. We can't change people. So we have to act accordingly, right? And so, yeah, I'm sorry to end on that energy. That sucks. But it feels like, just this progressive kind of, you know, whatever they've kind of, something has happened, or they've been involved in things that, kind of changed how they exist as a person, you know, but at their core, they're who they are. It's just, you know, there's a lot of stuff in between that and their authentic self, and how they kind of carry themselves in their waking life. So, let's see. TT, let's check out the Dreamer's deck, 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams from the I Know collection. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip through and stop here. It says, I know that incredible things happen when I surround myself with supportive people. I am loved. I know that incredible things happen when I surround myself with supportive people. I am loved. Yes. Okay. Libra, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so... Oops. I don't know why my thing just did that. Yeah. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little button. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And if you have not oh wait, yes, sorry, I'm like, now I'm thinking about, why did this just talk to me? But yes, it's free to subscribe. You know, no pressure. But if you want to see more of the readings, which I hope you do, just hit that little subscribe button. Huh, TT. And then if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all, and they mean the world to me. We are just about to have a couple of days off. Thankfully, we were able to record, so we'll still have our regular schedule coming out. And I say we because my husband and I. And my husband is over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's amazing. If you haven't watched his readings, please go over there and check him out. But I am kind of discombobbled because my brain is like, it's like the last day of school, right? We usually work 7 days a week, so... doing readings and stuff, and so having a couple of days off is, yeah, pretty good. So anyways, I'm like checked out a little bit, maybe. No, I'm not. I enjoy doing the readings. But it's just, you know, I record so late at night that it'll be nice to be able to go to bed at a normal time, during our little breaky break, our spring break. Hunty. So anyways, Libra, I want to thank you again. I love you. Take care of yourself. And good night.